Hi, welcome to Earl on AI. I'm Earl, and we're going to talk about AI. I'm a lifelong technology enthusiast and an information security professional dating back to the dot-com era, and I'm very interested in AI. I've had a lot of fun playing with AI, both the cloud-based implementations like ChatGPT and Gemini, and also local installations of AI that I have run from my own computer. AI is everywhere now. It's amazing how fast that AI has rushed onto the scene. It's in our smartphones, it's in our email, it's in our bubblegum. I mean, you practically can't walk down the street without tripping over some AI. People have different opinions about this, and they feel differently about it. Some folks are very excited about the innovations that AI will bring. Others are apprehensive about the potential socioeconomic implications of AI, how it might be used for bad purposes as well as good purposes. And to be honest, some people just don't know how to feel. I'm kind of in that camp. I can see both the positive potential benefits of this AI revolution and also potential pitfalls. I think one of the things that we know for sure, though, is that AI is here. Even though it seems like a bubble right now and a craze and everybody's talking about AI everywhere, I think the fundamentals of generative AI and agentic AI, they're here to stay, and we have to contend with them. One of the ways we do this is make sure that we are carefully considering the intersection of information security and AI, and that's actually going to be a big focal point of this channel. So what are we going to talk about in this maiden voyage, in this first episode? We're going to talk about 3 perspectives which you can use to look at the intersection of information security and AI. There's security for AI, security with AI, and security from AI. The first topic is security for AI, and this is an interesting one. There have been a few folks in the information security field that have stated the opinion that securing AI will be just like securing everything else that we've had to protect. It'll be like securing email or securing networks or securing the resources that we put in the cloud. But I'm convinced that securing AI is going to be fundamentally a different beast. And here's a couple of reasons why. First off, AI is what we would call non-deterministic. What does that mean? Well, deterministic in like physics or computer science means that if you put in the same inputs, you get the same outputs. You can predict what's going to happen. But generative AI is built on different principles. It involves probabilities and a certain amount of randomness. And that is kind of a game changer for how you secure things, because you can't always predict what the outcome will be. If you'd like to see this in action, go to your favorite AI chat, like ChatGPT or Gemini, the 2 that I mentioned earlier, and ask a somewhat conceptual question. Look at the response that you get, and then go back, start a new chat, and ask the exact same question. Make sure it's the same, word for word, punctuation for punctuation. I bet you the result will be different in time number 2 than it was in time number 1. Now, why is that? That's because there's a certain amount of randomness sprinkled into the way that large language models work. And that randomness percolates its way through the process that AI uses to come up with a response for you. So, non-deterministic. You can't always predict what the outcome will be, and that will introduce interesting challenges in how we wrap security around AI. The second reason that I think AI is different is it's not a particular technology. It's a concept. It's an algorithm. It's actually a set of algorithms. But however you want to define it, it's not just one thing that we need to get our arms around. And it'll probably be everything, because AI is being cooked into everything right now. I mentioned earlier, it's in all of our technologies, and it's only going to become more and more pervasive. So when you're securing AI, this concept, this algorithm, it's going to require new ways of thinking about things. Luckily, the frameworks and the processes that we use to determine how to secure something are still applicable here. It's just that there will be some fundamental changes, and we need to take those into account as we move forward. So with all that said, let's talk about some things that are out there now that can help us wrap our brain around what we need to do to secure AI. I picked 3 resources to cover today, and they're all freely available. They're all extremely high quality. They are state-of-the-art in terms of dealing with AI and security. You can go take a look at them now. One is from the National Institute of Standards Technology, an organization of the federal government. I think it's part of the Department of Commerce. But NIST publishes a wide variety of security documentation, all freely available. One of the things that NIST has published is the NIST AI Risk Framework. It's a high-level governance document that will help you think about how to measure the risk of AI implementations and how to set the guardrails for AI in your organization. How are you going to manage it? How are you going to monitor it? This document is, like many NIST documents, fairly dense. I would definitely have a cup of coffee or two handy when you start to dig into it, but it's a great reference point. Again, it's freely available, and there's a lot of good thoughts in there. The second reference I would recommend is from an organization called OWASP, the Open Worldwide Application Security Project. If you're in the information security world, you may know about OWASP from their top 10 web application vulnerabilities. Well, they've done it again. Now they have a top 10 risks for generative AI and large language models. It's part of the overall OWASP GenAI project. This is a mid-tier document, I would say. It addresses 10 specific risks that you may encounter in your implementation and use of AI. It describes those risks, how they might present in your environment. It talks about ways in which the bad actors out there are either theorized to potentially attack you, or ways in which they've seen actual attacks occur. And then finally, for each of these 10, there is some guidance on how you can steer clear of it, how you can avoid these risks. Excellent document. I would expect no less from OWASP. And I thank them for putting this GenAI project out there to give us some materials that we can use right now to contend with this ever-increasing need to secure AI. The last resource I'll talk about is from an organization called MITRE. Again, if you're an information security person, you may know of MITRE from something called their attack framework, a database of tactics, techniques, case studies, etc., on how attackers can try to infiltrate your network, how they can do reconnaissance, how they can try to achieve persistence within your environment once they have hacked their way in. MITRE has done the same thing, but with AI in something that they call MITRE Atlas. It is based on and looks very much like the MITRE attack framework, but it is AI-centric. It has some very detailed information about the things that you might see in terms of security, AI, and the attacks that could be leveled against it. Links for all of these will be in the description area for this video, and I hope that you'll check them out and give them a read because I think they can be very helpful. The next topic to talk about is security with AI. And what I mean by this is you've probably noticed that vendors of all kinds of technology are trying to get AI integrated into their systems as fast as they can because it's kind of a gold rush and nobody wants to be left behind. Information security product vendors are in the same boat. They are all integrating AI into their products, and in some cases to great effect. One way in which AI is already being used in information security is advanced threat detection. AI is great at pattern recognition. It can find that needle in the haystack. And in this case, if that needle is an attacker trying to make their way into your network, or maybe they already have, having AI sift through all the data, all the telemetry that's coming in, and come up with a response that, hey, I see something that's kind of funny and I think you ought to pay attention to it. Just beautiful. Also, AI using that same pattern recognition capability is great for malware detection. Again, AI can look at things, see if there's something potentially weird going on, and it can send up a flare. Finally, staying with this train of thought of pattern recognition, user behavioral analysis. User A might do the same thing every day, day in, day out, Monday through Friday. All of a sudden, this user is logging in at a weird time of day, or this user is consuming data, maybe sending data out of your network, exfiltrating the data, and they've never done this before. And the AI recognizes this is peculiar behavior, something that we haven't seen before. It doesn't match my patterns, so therefore I want to bring it to your attention, and you can take a look at it. So security with AI, the creative and effective use of artificial intelligence to help us in our fight against attackers. So the last one, not nearly as much fun, security from AI. While we're looking for innovative and efficient ways to use these new AI technologies, the attackers aren't sitting still. They're also trying to up their game using artificial intelligence. How are they doing this? Well, there's a few different ways you could think of. One is with phishing. We've already seen they are crafting better phishing emails to try to fool you. You remember the old phishing emails, the ones that were easy to spot because the grammar was bad, or it had broken links, or it had a broken graphic, or just something seemed off? Unfortunately, I think those days might be behind us because AI is helping the bad actors create phishing emails that are grammatically beautiful, and they're tailored also. They're tailored to the recipient. So when you get that email, it looks legit, and maybe it fools you onto clicking on the wrong thing or giving up the wrong piece of information. We need to be on our toes. It's going to be harder to spot these emails, both for human beings and for the automated systems that we have to do email filtering. Another way in which attackers can use AI is creating malware. They're probably already doing this. In software development, for legitimate purposes, people are already using AI to take away some of the drudgery. Now, I know the jury's still out. A lot of people believe that AI actually doesn't create very good software. But one thing that it does is it takes away some of the drudgery of creating software. It can help you when you can't remember exactly now, how do I do that thing again? AI can help remind you how the libraries work or how your language works or things like that. It can do that for the bad actors as well, helping them to create malware, if not super duper Skynet level malware, at least it will give them the ability to create the malware more quickly. And it may also wind up generating malware that is better at evading our defenses. Malware that can sneak in through the back door more easily by disguising itself or morphing itself or things like that. It's a horrible thought, but it is happening, very likely is happening, and it's something that we're going to have to contend with. The last thing I'll talk about in terms of security from AI is deepfakes. We've all probably seen the TV shows or news stories or whatever about deepfakes. AI can create images and audio and video, all of which are very convincing, but it's not the genuine article. So if you see a picture of somebody, doing something that is despicable or whatever, maybe it's not them. Maybe someone is trying to impersonate them using an AI deepfake. Already we've seen reputational damage on social media, people posting things where, it's not that person, but it sure looks like that person, and it ruins the person's reputation. Deepfakes, also, another thing that I heard about was somebody using deepfake audio to call an employee, and the AI sounded like that employee's boss. And it really sounded like their boss because AI is getting great at audio generation. And it can even do speech recognition and hold a whole conversation with you. And you think it's your boss that's asking you to move this money from one bank account to another, or asking you to give up your credentials, or, whatever sort of bad thing they're trying to trick you into doing. It will be more difficult to tell the real from the fake. So I think we all need to have our shields up. We all need to realize that this is a thing that can happen to you. So be on the lookout for it. Security from AI. It's going to be an interesting challenge. Here's the fun part. You can mix and match. So you could have security for AI That is, you're safeguarding the confidentiality and integrity and availability of your AI systems that you implement or use. You're doing it using security with AI, security products that are AI augmented to help you. And you could be doing all of this to protect against attacks that are coming from bad actors who are themselves using AI. Crazy, isn't it? It's just AI, AI, AI all the way down. It's one of the main reasons that I wanted to start this YouTube channel. Oh my gosh, there's just so much to talk about. And I'm excited to bring you episodes on lots of topics going forward. And I hope that you will come along with me for the ride. If you have enjoyed any of this content, I would invite you to like and subscribe to the channel, and also to click the bell for notifications when I come out with new videos. Also, if anything that I mentioned during this video was thought-provoking, or if you have questions on the material that I covered, please leave a comment in the comments section. I would love to see the engagement. I think we've all got to get our thoughts out on the table about the intersection of information security and AI. So please leave a comment. I'm going to be watching that comment section closely, and we'll really be thrilled to see people's reaction to the video. Anyway, that's it for this time. I'm Earl, and this is Earl on AI. Thanks for watching.